Well, hello there, Rip City. Chris Burkhardt here with you. Welcome in to Blazers Game Day here at Moda Center tonight, getting you ready for Trailblazers versus Warriors Game 2 of 82 as the journey continues on as this team looks to hopefully make a playoff run. Of course, it's been a very, very interesting 24 hours with some stuff going on off the court with Chauncey Billups. The Blazers did release a statement yesterday regarding the alleged scandal, and that statement reads as follows. The Portland Trailblazers today released the following statement. We are aware of the allegations involving head coach Chauncey Billups, and the Trailblazers are fully cooperating with the investigation. Billups has been placed on immediate leave, and Tiago Splitter will assume head coaching duties in the interim. Any further questions should be directed to the NBA. So now, Tiago Splitter is your acting head coach. He gets a chance to right this ship tonight, get a victory, start off on the right foot. I am personally very much rooting for that tonight. I just believe that with everything that's going on, you get in a situation tonight where you come out and you play wonderfully against the Warriors. You get a W, and then you go into the locker room, and it's one of those situations where you're like, "Oh my gosh, this was so good. We got to get the water bottles," and you're dumping them on Tiago Splitter's head, congratulating him on his first career victory as head coach. And in that moment, all the extracurricular stuff that you've dealt with as a team over the last 24 hours goes away. It's one of those moments where you just focus on as a team. It brings the team together, and that is very, very important moving forward. The win would be great, absolutely great, but I also think all things considered, if you come out tonight and you play a game like you did against the Timberwolves, where that defense is locked in, you look ready to go, you're just a couple missed shots away from winning a ball game, that you also claim that as a victory. I know the idea of moral victories is something that can be overblown, something that is, there's no such thing as moral victories, Burkhardt. Well, tonight, it's a moral victory because this is not a normal game. This is one of those weird situations where so much has gone on that you have to put the team in a situation to just really bond and come together. So even if you don't win the game, if you come out and you take the Golden State Warriors to the wire and your defense has Steph Curry just flabbergasted for most of the game and Shaedon Sharpe looks good, there's all these little victories that you can claim within that thing, then yeah, tonight is one of those rare games where I think a moral victory is real. That's not the goal, though. No one walks into the game going, okay, I really, really hope that we get a moral victory today. You know what I'm saying? They're not wishing for a moral victory. They're wishing for a dub against the Dubs. And this dub could be very, very important. In a year where you have 82 games, a chance to get as many W's as possible, this one might matter the most. It really, truly might. Get the Warriors in your house. They played last night. Take advantage of that. You come out. You come together. That's a victory. And then if you get the W on top of it, it's even better. It's absolutely even better. So those are the things that are important tonight, is what can this team do to make sure that they stay together. Together might be the key word for the rest of the season. And as I said with Chad yesterday, I want to remind everyone out there listening that there is a 15-man roster who's going to suit up tonight, who needs you. They need the fans. They need the backing. They need to know that the love and support is still there. So bring it. Bring it when you get into Moda Center tonight. If you want to join the conversation with me, 503-248-0620 is one way to do it. You can also go to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio, and join the chat in the YouTube stream as well. Now, We will hear from Coach Tiago Splitter, acting head coach Tiago Splitter, here in just a few moments when we head to the Coach's Corner. His first chance to talk to the media, also the first opportunity for the media to talk to the organization since the news broke yesterday. We will get down there, hear what he has to say. And I'm just going to tell you what, when it comes to Tiago, I am a fan of Tiago Splitter. I like the hire in the offseason. He's one of those guys that the rare chances you got to see him in an opposing locker room, you knew he was a basketball mind. And I'll tell you what, anytime I was in a Spurs locker room with Greg Popovich and those early teams in my career, it was like just watching just basketball savants. They just knew everything. I still contend that Manu Ginobili might be the smartest basketball player I've ever listened to in a post-game scrum. And Tiago Splitter is a very knowledgeable basketball mind as well. He has the coaching experience there with Houston, and then obviously going to Paris and winning a championship as a head coach. So you learn from Pop. You get a little bit of NBA experience as an assistant. You go to Paris. You win a championship as a head coach. You get hired because you're an offensive mind. And one game into the regular season, the job is given to you. Now, the situation might not be the best, but for a guy like Tiago, you take that ball and you run with it. It is a chance to see what you got. And again, a chance for him to really show what he is as a coach and a leader. Make sure this team does not waver. That's very, very important tonight and moving forward, keeping the team as one. And I do believe Tiago Splitter can do that. I was so excited when he was hired as a head coach. Never thought that he would be pushed to the head coach situation. For those of you wondering, I thought Nate Bjorkgren was the guy. Well, Nate kind of said, hey, I think it's better for the team in this situation that I stay in my spot and keep that continuity where I've been. I'm very comfortable here in this assistant role, basically the lead assistant. I also think it's a good situation for Tiago to have that strength of Nate Bjorkgren right behind him in his ear. We've seen Nate in Chauncey's ear a lot, right? You see, like they're heading to a timeout. And you see Nate Bjorkgren come up and giving it, talk to him. That's going to be important to have that guy right there in Tiago's ear as well. So excited to see what Tiago does as a head coach. Excited to see if there's any difference in the offense tonight because he is an offensive mind. On that same note, how good does the defense look? Does it continue to stay locked in like it was against Minnesota? Because that is going to be a good test for this team as well. That defense against Minnesota was absolutely phenomenal. The lineups they were running out there where you had Blake Wesley and you had Matisse Thybulle and you had Toumani Camara, Drew Holiday, they were picking up 94 feet, switching the whole way. Anthony Edwards, after the game, did say in the locker room that there's no more coming to Portland and getting an easy win. That defense is everywhere. They make you work. They do not make it easy. He was like talking about how basically whole game they were picking you up 94 feet. Blake Wesley was phenomenal. He was chaotic in the best way possible. Defensively, he was just one speed, and it was all gas, no brake. Offensively, you would like him to be just a little bit better. If they can get him to shift a little bit more into that just kind of true point guard range where he can get those assists and just control the offense, that's good for him. But defensively, he was great. Matisse Thybulle, we all talk about how good Toumani is, how good Drew is. Matisse Thybulle, he's special on that end too. Comes in, he gets 2 steals back-to-back. A lot to like in that game. We're going to break that down a little bit more throughout this game because I do think there's a lot to learn from that, even though you did take a loss. But we're going to take a break first, and when we come back, we're going to head to the Coach's Corner and hear from the new acting head coach of your Portland Trail Blazers, Tiago Splitter. If you want to join the conversation, 503-248-0620 is the telephone number. You can also go to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio, and join the chat there. This is Blazers Game Day on your home, the Blazers, Rip City Radio, 620. Welcome back into Blazers Game Day. Chris Burkhardt here with you. We are just waiting on acting head coach Tiago Splitter. He'll be up at the podium in just a second, and when he gets there, we'll head down to the media room, hear what he has to say. First media availability as the acting head coach, and the first availability that the Blazers have held since the news yesterday. They did have a practice that was scheduled for early in the morning, then that ended up being moved. Did some stuff, obviously a interesting day to say the least, but I'm excited to hear what Coach Splitter has to say. I cannot overstate how much of a fan I have been of his just as a coach. I don't know him at all. I haven't had a chance to talk to him, but I just know that I liked him when he was a player. I saw him in the Spurs locker room once or twice, but never got a chance to do an interview. But I just know that he's a good basketball mind. Love what he did with his team in Paris. And, yeah, now you get a chance to see what he can do with your Portland Trail Blazers. So it's going to be just interesting to get a chance to hear him and hear what he thinks about this team. And maybe you can learn a little bit whether he's the leader that can get this team through this tough little patch here. Like I said, the wins, the losses, all that. Just how you come out tonight. Can you come out together, focused, ready? Those are the types of things that are going to matter. And I hope that he can do it. I absolutely hope he can do it. And let's take a listen. He's at the podium right now.
But got to do my job. I've been in this position in a different level, but also, in a way, looking forward to show my skills and lead a team. So that was the positive part of it.
Hi, I'm Jason Quick. I work for the Athletic. What is your messaging tonight to your team?
Well, I think we're going to talk about basketball. Just do what we do, play the way we like to play, with good pace, be aggressive on defense, rebound. That's going to be the identity of this team, and I'm not going to change it. I'm part of the process of putting this together, and we've been working for 2 months or more in our identity and how we're going to play this season. So I'm just going to keep doing my job.
So you don't even address everything that's going on outside?
Well, I spoke in the morning, but that's it. I think it's it's life stuff that happened, and we just go to next step, basketball, and do our job.
Are you finding it easy or hard to, given how big of a story this is and how how widespread it is in the sports world, how much everybody's talking about it, is it hard for you guys to block that out, considering you guys are at the center of it?
Trying to be honest, be focused. Focus on the basketball part. These guys are human beings, and we understand that, but trying to focus on the basketball part for sure.
Is there a way to describe what yesterday was like? Like, what was the mood at the facility with the players and such?
Not great. But like I said, we got to move forward. We got a job to do. I'm not going to get tired of repeating this. We have a great opportunity in front of us to do a great season with this team, and I'm excited about that.
Are you able to have any communication with Chauncey?
No.
How important is it to have veterans on the team to rely on in the locker room? Drew Holiday, Damian Lillard, etc.
Big time. Not just for that, but in general, having guys like Dame, Drew, Jeremy, Matisse, all of them can keep going and say a bunch of names here with experience, guys that have been through a lot, rings, championship. Play all kinds of games and have life situation as well. So those guys are great in our locker room.
What's it like to go from having your first game on a bench with the team and then 12 hours later becoming the head coach?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting for sure, but like I said, I have to be ready. I was ready. I am ready. I did in the past in a different league, of course, in Europe. And I'm just going to move forward and do my job. But in a way, you know, a lot of responsibility.
Tiago, you have a lot of young guys on this team too who just have never been through some of, I mean, nobody's been through this, but who haven't been through anything of this magnitude. How do you keep them locked in and kind of focus on what you're trying to do in the court?
Yeah, just keep pounding on the team, on what we got to do in the court, on try to stay away of what's going on and just focus on the basketball, to be honest.
Can you what does Chauncey mean to these young guys? Because he's a guy who had obviously done so much in the league. It seems like his messaging had really gotten through to them. Like, can you characterize how the young guys especially responded to his style of coaching from what you saw?
Yeah, I mean, we all had great experience with Chauncey and how he coached, and you know, we are thinking of him and his family, but we got a job to do. We got a job to do and move forward.
From Tennessee, you've been working out with Hansen and Cleveland throughout the summer. So I'm wondering, what's your rotation plan on tonight's game, especially on the center position?
I'm not gonna give you much, but Hansen is a great project for us. He's has a lead skill for playing basketball. He's a great passer. Of course, his size is great. So we got to be patient with him, but I'm sure he's going to be a great basketball player. So we just got to be patient a little bit.
Just building on that, you're their coaching staff, and now how much do you think your role change going to change their learning curve, or the plan in the foreseeable future?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
So you're their coaching staff for sure.
Yeah.
Now with your role change, there kind of some change for them for sure. So just building on that, how much do you think that going to affect their plan and stuff like that?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to change much. We have a plan like 2 months ago. We're going to keep over our plan with our team and players like Hansen. We're not going to change our plan. It's going to stay the same.
How do you put your imprint on this team when you weren't coming in here to be the head coach right away? Like, when can you actually start looking at doing something differently, or something that you may have thought about doing differently and not being disruptive at the same time to what you guys were building coming out of the summer and coming out of preseason?
To be honest, there is stuff that, already implemented coming here, like 2 months ago. And kind of like the pace that we're playing. We did the same stuff last year with Paris. Rotations a little similar. So we trying to play that way, be aggressive. Nate's being great, Patrick St. Andrews being great, Q. We have a great staff. All of the guys there are working every day very hard to make this team play the best way we can. So it's not like I'm going to put now something new. It was like a collective thing that we put together months ago, and we're just going to follow the plan.
Just a 10,000-foot question about everything that happened yesterday, not just with Chauncey, but just somebody who's played in the league, and now you've experienced what it's been like with gambling, sort of been integrated with the league. What is a day? What are the? I don't know how much you had time to dive into what actually was released or the press conferences or anything, but what do those gambling investigations mean to somebody who, like you, who played in the league and the integrity of the game?
Ramon, I would like not to talk about that. You put me in a tough position. I'm just gonna, not comment on that.
Tiago, can you say anything about how you found out that Chauncey was exiting and that you'd be taking over as the interim head coach?
As you can imagine, just like you guys, social media and all people texting.
Speaking of the game tonight, starters, are you running back the same starters as in the first game? Any changes to that tonight?
Same starters.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Tiago.
Thanks, Tiago.
Well, all right, there you hear from Tiago Splitter for the first time as he just wrapped up his first media availability as acting head coach of your Portland Trailblazers. Obviously, kind of said he's not going to get tired of saying it. They're focusing on basketball. Not a lot to change. But, he is definitely in a very, very tough spot just because I think a lot of eyeballs are on him with what went down. Kind of the entire NBA fan base and beyond is watching the organization. And now he gets a chance to go out there and put his stamp on it. And it's similar to like when Nate Bjorkgren had a handful of games when he was head coach last year when Chauncey was out, where he took what was the identity of the team. And you could tell in those 2 games, even though he said he wasn't going to mess with it, he was trying to put his own stamp on it. And this is a different situation because this is not, hey, someone's missing a game. This is kind of undefined. You don't know. And so Thiago has to just make sure that his stamp gets on this and this team has the identity of the coach moving forward. And I do think it is important that he said in there that there's not going to be a massive amount of change because he was brought into a coaching staff that was all working on the same goal, building the same team. Why flip that on its head? Defense is still going to be something they're going to try to hang their head on. He did kind of mention, maybe you'll see a little more similar offense to what he ran in Paris, which I'm fine with that. Mess with the offense a little bit, move that ball around, do the things you're good at. But at the same time, understand that you put together a roster to play in a very specific way. You've trained these guys over the entire summer to play that specific way. And making sure you continue to play that way is what you should do. And Coach Billups brought you all in because he wanted, he had you all on the same page. So staying on that same page is important. I took that away. I like that. Can't change your identity. That's what he said. And he also said, this team has a great opportunity to do something special. Make a playoff run. Do those types of things. Those are still the goal. Also noted, too, is something we said on the show yesterday and we said earlier in game day as well. He did mention, having guys like Drew and Dame and Jeremy Grant, Matisse Thybulle, these vets on this team who have been through changes or different life situations is absolutely crucial moving forward to lean on those guys in this situation. And then I know every single one of you caught the fact that he said Hansen is a great project for us. He has elite skills. We just need to be patient with him. Doesn't that get you excited? And there was the question there, like now you're head coach, how do you approach his development and the centers? I don't think it's necessarily, hey, I played center, and I was working with the big men. We're going to change how we develop them. But you do have to make sure that in the long run, you don't just try to make this thing run straight and forward and, hey, we're going to make sure we're on autopilot. Grab the steering wheel, own this thing, put your stamp on it. And I hope he does that because, as I've said multiple times before, I really, really like Thiago Splitter as a head coach, and I'm eager to see what he does with this opportunity. Again, the situation surrounding all this, not great, but be that light at the end of the tunnel, the light in the darkness. Give them something to rally around. And you go back to you win this game. You go into that locker room, everyone's excited. You're dumping water on them, happy. Congratulations on your first win as a head coach, Thiago. And you forget about everything for a second. And I think that's an important time, too, where Thiago grabs his guys and says, hey, this is my team. Let's go keep winning. All right, this is Blazers Game Day. I'm your host, Chris Burkhardt. If you want to join the conversation, 503-248-0620 is the telephone number. And, of course, you can go to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio, and join the chat there as well. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I want to talk about that opener against Minnesota, what we liked, look at that box score, and see what the Blazers can replicate to maybe grab a win tonight against the Golden State Warriors. Again, this is Blazers Game Day on your home, the Blazers, Rip City Radio, 620. Welcome back into Blazers Game Day. Chris Burkhardt here with you. If you want to join the conversation as we get you ready for the game tonight, 503-248-0620 is the telephone number. And, of course, you can go to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio, and join the conversation there as well, where some of the chat is enjoying that availability from Thiago Splitter. Thought he handled it well, as Slim says. He was in a tough position to be in, and he handled that well. And, yeah, I thought he did. You got to keep the focus on basketball and just keep moving forward. And keep in mind that with investigations and all this stuff, there's not a lot that he nor the team can say. But I like the fact that he's keeping it basketball-oriented. That's what you need from him. And, he said he hasn't had a chance to really talk to the team. Did say yesterday it was hard when the news broke and going through that situation. But this is like the pressure of the coal and turning it into a diamond, Become that diamond. Take something that was an uncomfortable and a not great situation and just make it special. This season is not done. We have to be honest with ourselves. This is game 2 tonight. If this has all gone down in game 40, maybe it's a little bit different. But this is game 2. You literally still have the entire runway in front of you. So now you take that opportunity, you do something special with it. And I think Thiago's the guy. I still think Thiago's the guy. I have no idea. So don't ask me, I don't know what the team's plans are moving forward, what the future of this person is or that person is. All I know is right now Thiago Splitter is the acting head coach of your Portland Trail Blazers, and I think he's going to do one heck of a job. He goes from being the assistant, who is rarely up there and doesn't talk to the media that often. How many times have you – let's go back to Terry Stotts for a second. How many times did you see Nate Tibbetts or Jim Moran, right? How many times did you see those guys doing press availabilities? You didn't. And Thiago hasn't been doing that. And he gets thrown into it in a different situation than most. When Nate Bjorkgren did it last year, yeah, okay, everything's fine. This coach is out for a few games. We're going to be good. This is a completely different situation where you're going to get peppered with tough questions, which some of those questions aren't he didn't want to answer, or you could tell that it's talking about Chauncey isn't what he wanted to do today. He wants to talk about basketball and his team a little bit. He wants to focus on that. So I'm eager to see what this all looks like when the ball tips off. And he is in charge, and he's running that show. What does it look like? And again, I said it to you all earlier. Moral victories are not a thing. We always say that, they played well, but there's no such thing as moral victories, coach. There is an exception. And I think today is that exception, where not only does a victory get you a win in that column, but how you play tonight, how you come together can absolutely be a moral victory. Because this is an important game. Maybe one of the most important games of this season, and it's only game 2. Because with everything that happened, you came to the fork in the road. You said, Thiago, I need you to drive the car, and I need you to pick, are we going left or are we going right? And he needs to decide which one, and then he needs to absolutely own it. And I'm very, very eager to see how he does, because I think he's a wonderful basketball mind, especially on the offensive side of the ball. They already have their defense kind of locked in, and I think they're going to keep churning that way. But if offensively they can change it up just a little bit, very, very eager to see if we see just any semblance of a bit of a different offense tonight. That's what I'm going to be looking for. Now, speaking of defense, I want to go back to that beautiful game to open the season where, yes, your Trailblazers took the 118-114 loss to the Minnesota Timberwolves. They were outscored 30-19 in the fourth quarter. They didn't get a bucket for the last 5 minutes. The offense just kind of sputtered. But that was a very, very good game from this Portland Trailblazers team. To go out there and take on a Minnesota Timberwolves team that is no slouch whatsoever. That is a team that has been to Western Conference Finals. a team that has perhaps the best young star in the entire NBA. And he put those talents on full display. 41 points, 7 rebounds, game-winning shots. He was 14 of 18 from the floor was Anthony Edwards. And this team made them work. Portland was picking him up 94 feet. Whoever had the ball, Mike Conley had the ball, we're going to pick you up. Dante DiVincenzo has the ball, we're going to pick you up. They were making everybody work. And I also like that it was definitely a defense where it was everybody as a team, defense by committee. Because the shot prior to the game-winning shot that Anthony Edwards also hit, it was Jeremy Grant on him. Then in the game-winning shot situation, it was Tuani Kamara on him. We saw situations in the game where Blake Wesley was on him. We saw a situation in the game where Shaedon Sharpe was tasked with. The team was just moving around, making sure they were positioning themselves to make the team work defensively. I like the way they were battling through screens. I like the way they were communicating. Drew Holiday is going to be absolutely worth his weight in gold throughout this season. There's times where Minnesota has an inbound pass and you look over and you see Drew Holiday looking at Donovan Clingan or Shaedon Sharpe, or I think it was even Young Hansen at one point. I may be incorrect on that. But he's moving people. He's waving people. Hey, I need you to move over here. No, come back this way a little bit. Come back this way. So that type of coach on the floor, very, very important to have. And then just, you got to get the offensive side going. Okay, it's not every single night that you're going to go 13 of 42 from beyond the arc, that Denny Avdia is going to go 0 for 6, Drew Holiday is going to go 1 for 7. Those nights aren't going to happen every single night. If you can start hitting those shots, everything else will continue to, the pieces will fall where they may. We talked about ball security in this one. 15 turnovers to the Timberwolves 19. Thought that was good. They just needed to get more points off of those turnovers. Portland had just 15 points off of those 15 turnovers, so converting about half the time there. You need that to be a little bit more. Block shots was a real just thorn in the side for Portland. They managed just 3 block shots. Meanwhile, Minnesota had 10 block shots. Assist numbers, Portland actually had more assists than Minnesota, 25 to 21. And rebounding has definitely been a key for this team all year long. They were out-rebounded by Minnesota, and so they need to figure that one out too. Be aggressive on the glass. It's got to be a calling card, and that's something that Thiago did say in his presser as well, saying that defense and being aggressive on the glass are two things that we want to do. Again, I still like the game. I'm gonna butcher this. Da-Ren. Someone, I don't know the name, but in the YouTube chat says, "Sup, man, a Warrior fan, but love this Blazer squad. Portland's ball defense is awesome. On-ball defense is awesome." Yeah, it's absolutely fun. I'll tell you this, as a Blazer commentator and lifelong Blazer fan growing up, I feel like there's something weird about the Warriors, because when Dame and CJ were together and you had the team that went to the Western Conference Finals, is like every single year it's like, okay, things are looking good, and then you meet the Golden State Warriors. There's something about this Golden State Warrior team and this Portland Trailblazer team. We are just like entwined in the future forever until maybe Steph Curry retires or beyond. But whether it was the Western Conference Finals or the playoff series, went to Oracle many times for many Blazers Warrior games. And, it's there's something fun down there. It's fun to watch this Warrior team. One thing I love about this team they're playing tonight, especially Steph, and Clay was on there for a while. Whenever you get some of the best in the world to come into your gym and you get a chance to watch them, it's absolutely incredible. And there's very few players I've ever watched take over a game to the point they just could not be stopped no matter what happened. They were not going to be stopped. I saw Kobe do it. I've seen LeBron do it. I've seen Dame do it. I've seen Jokic do it. And I've seen Steph do it. Now, I know there's more than that. Those are the ones that I've seen live with my 2 eyes, not on the TV. Just watch them take over a game and say, you know what? Give me the ball. I'm going to score. Was that Hasselbeck, right? Some of you get that football reference. Steph special. And, yeah, there's something always fun when the Warriors play the Blazers, because they've been intertwined for so many years now. It's just kind of crazy. Now, unfortunately for you, resident Warrior fan, I hope they take the loss tonight. Portland could really, really use this one. All right, we're going to take a quick break here on Game Day. When we come back, I'm going to give you my keys to the game. What do the Blazers need to do to get a win over those pesky Golden State Warriors? I have a feeling, win or lose, we're going to be reminded tonight that Steph Curry is still really, really good at this game we call basketball, man. Anyway, keys to the game coming up next on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. All right, Blazers fans, time now for our keys to the game as the Blazers take on the Golden State Warriors tonight here at Moda Center, game 2 of 82. Blazers do a lot of what you did in that game 1 against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Defensively, it was a great performance. Now you're playing a Warrior team who you definitely had struggles with in the preseason, but that was the preseason. That's gone. We all know it doesn't really matter. Preseason is what it is. Even if they got 2 dubs against you in that preseason, it doesn't really matter. This is a different ballgame. It's regular season. We're talking about a Warrior team, too, that did play yesterday an overtime game, a 137-131 victory over the Denver Nuggets. So maybe you are in favor of tired legs tonight. Steph Curry dropped 42 in that one, 14 of 25 from the floor. But just be aggressive defensively. Make this team work. I want to see the Drew Tumani. Matisse Thybulle is back. We did see him a little bit in game 1. So defensively, just be locked in. Make them work for everything. Secondly, you got to be aggressive on the glass. That is something that Tiago Splitter reiterated in his availability this morning. It's something we heard Billups talk about as well. That's kind of the identity of the team. They want to be able to rebound the ball and push tempo. Well, in that game against Minnesota, they were out rebounded 45-39. So you have got to be aggressive on the glass. Don't let the Warriors beat you there. The Warriors are also a team, as we have known for years and years and years, that can grab that basketball and push tempo and catch you off guard. Be aggressive offensively on the offensive glass too. And if you need to, get back on defense as quick as possible, obviously. Don't let them get out in space. But again, just be aggressive on the glass. And then the third thing, just score more points than them. I know that sounds dumb, but the Blazers left a lot of points off of the scoreboard in that game against Minnesota. They shot 13 of 42 from beyond the arc. In clutch time, Drew Holiday missed a few threes. Denny Avdia was 0 of 6 from beyond the arc. That's not going to happen very often. And then, Drew Holiday was 1 of 7 overall. You got to hit those shots. You got to hit those shots. They were good looks. I think Coach Splitter's going to live with those. There are bad shots and there are good shots. And not every make is a good shot. Not every miss is a bad shot. He's going to live with the good shots, hit, make or miss. But I would hope that tonight they make them because they missed some open looks in that game against Minnesota, and it definitely cost them down the stretch. It was good, though, if they could repeat the success they had at the free throw line. Portland went to the line 35 times. Minnesota just 24. They outscored them there 29-19 from the free throw line. So overall, it's what the Blazers just need to do. Just play like they did against Minnesota and just be slightly better on the offensive side of the ball, and they'll be okay. They will be okay. But the music is on. That means it is time to get out of here. For me, not for you, because don't go anywhere. Coming up next across the Trailblazers audio network, Chad Dewing will have your Trailblazers pregame show. And then 7 o'clock tip-off, Travis Demers on the call. Warriors versus Blazers, all right here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. And, of course, when the game is over, it's the 5th quarter right back here where hopefully you and I are breaking down a Trailblazers victory. Rip City, I'll talk to you after the game.